Good evening and welcome back to Be Rich. After Bahrain, my team had a brainstorming session. The idea was where to do an event. So we thought we had done enough in Gulf and we'll take a switch. So the team decided to do an event in Singapore. We are going to do an event in Singapore in the last week of August. Those desirous of meeting me in Singapore can send a WhatsApp to the number given below or drop a mail. My team will be in touch with you.
Well, I agree. This is like pretty much what happened in Japan and continues to happen in Japan. And Germany is also the problem in Germany is, I would basically say, is demographic problem. They need to address this. Their population is aging rapidly, and the Germans who are there don't seem to be very interested in making more Germans. And like how Japan has a basic problem. Even if Japan open the doors and allow people in, everything is in Japanese. So you have to learn. And it's a huge hurdle to cross. Same thing is true in Germany. Of course, German is an easier language to learn compared to Japanese, but that is also true in Germany. Culturally, you need to know German and a bit of their cultural ethos to understand and work there. So these are hurdles which cannot be overcome easily because historically they've been busy working, putting their noses to the ground and working and exporting and not looking at anything else. So public and private consumption in Germany is much lower compared to the rest of Europe. Their philosophy is also of frugality, and they don't like spending money. Germans, they like saving, and all this compounds to their problem. Like you rightly said, when the world is returning more protectionism and everyone's putting borders up and they don't want to open borders, Germany will be wondering what to do. And this is made further worse by what's happening with Russia and Europe, and their dependency on energy, the way they structured themselves over the years has made this problem even worse. It was already there on the wall before the Russian problem, but this Russian problem has highlighted this and amplified this more. Now, is this something Germany can't come out of? I do not know. Based on my historical experience and understanding of German people and German history, they always find a way to come out of it. So, as an investor, I would still have my bets on Germany. How it's going to happen, how long will it take, it's very hard for me to forecast. But this is not a problem which they cannot overcome. Through some great leadership, which is what they require, they can come through this. Do they have the current leaders? Are they of that mettle? I do not know. I'm not into German politics, nor do I really understand the local politics because German is a federation state. They're not a republic in the sense like what India is. So a lot of local states have a lot of power and they have to cooperate and work together, which we have to wait and watch and see what happens. But it is a problem. And it's made worse for Germany because they were always looked upon as the leaders, as the guys who were riding and pushing the European economy, being the big brother of Europe, taking care of everything. Especially everyone remembers during the Greek financial crisis and the Italian financial crisis and the Spanish financial crisis. Germany was the one who was taking care of everything and stepping and talking to everyone and trying to get things resolved and keep Europe together with France. Now, the way France is going and Germany is going, it does give a lot of food for thought.
So that's an important point which you made, which is that Germany comes in as a savior almost. But Martin Wolf actually talks about this. He says that, look, Germany is sort of hypocritical because they keep pumping out goods and they have a huge current account surplus and they don't invest as much as they save. So it's a balance sheet at the end of the day. It's an equation. It's a formula. You have to equate it. So if Germany is saving much more than it invests, someone else is investing much more than they save, which means that its immediate partners in the EU are being forced to invest more than they save because money is just free flowing and the Germans need the money to go somewhere. So they're willing to lend everywhere. So you have its very own brothers and sisters in the European Union who are borrowing more and raising their fiscal deficit. And the fiscal deficit raising is what is absorbing all this excess German, cash. But then Germany at the same time is saying, look, you should bring down your fiscal deficit. And that is a big hypocrisy and it makes no sense where you end up saving much more. You don't invest domestically. Your gross investment in public goods is basically lower than even the United Kingdom, which is going through its fair share of economic troubles. And at the same time, you are lecturing others about why they should be reducing their fiscal deficit when you very well know that it is because of you that the reason why these people,
this reminds me of the problem here in India with SEBI. SEBI wants all of us to be careful, thoughtful investors. At the same time, SEBI is the one who's encouraging all this future options business.
Yeah.
Here in India. They're reprimanding fin influencers on social media, but they want to take no steps towards curbing the use of future options, which they can easily do.
Because the government gets a good amount of revenue from
Same problem for Germany. Germany, yes, they would love everyone not to follow their philosophy of being frugal, not borrowing, staying within their means. But if everyone were like Germans, then who's going to need all this money?
Then no one can be a German.
No, there's no capitalism. Yeah. The sort of capitalism which we believe in, this consumership where we're buying hordes and hordes of things. Germans don't do this. They do not buy 10 shirts when they only need one. They don't buy 5 cars when they need one. I'm talking about most Germans. Don't get into the celebrity Germans and the football stars and all that. Leave them out of the picture. Talking about most German citizens, don't do this. Especially when you go out into the C-tier B cities of Germany. You don't then throw them in cash the way we throw cash. And if all of us believe in that philosophy, then there's no consumers for all this, whatever we're creating. So it is a problem.
And he says this is a beggar my neighbor policy, where you're basically creating recessions everywhere else, and you're benefiting yourself through it. And the simple solution to this is if Germany just invests more in their public goods and decides to prop up their own demand and supply so their economy.
But this is the same problem in Japan.
Yeah. But the thing is, the Japanese are actually trying to invest within their own economy.
That's after 40 years.
Yeah. But
it's taken them, what Germany is just starting to go, but. Japan was pretty much in stagnation. Now they have found some hopes. Not because of their own doing. It's because of geopolitical situations.
Yes.
Has given Japan a second wind.
Yes.
They've been sitting without any wind in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, wondering if anyone's going to notice them.
But the problem with Germany here is that they themselves are begging for a second wind, at the same time stopping the second wind from reaching anyone else. So they're sitting in this sort of no man's land where they have the power to get out of it, but they have to figure it out themselves.
And everything will, end of the day, will be blamed to liberal politics. I don't think it's any political system which is at fault here. It is just the way overconsumption and overproduction and no slowdown is leading to this. Like we were discussing the other day, technology companies would be served far better than trying to release a new product every year and every 6 months and wait for a couple of years, work on some great innovations and come back and let it cool for a while. But you rightly said investors don't want this. And same problem in Germany. Germans have a whole bunch of investors who don't want this.
Right. This, like you said, it's not caused by any malicious actor, but rather misguided policy making.
Yes.
And Martin Wolf says that it's certain circles in Germany who believe that fiscal austerity and having less debt is always the best idea. And this is something which John Maynard Keynes touches upon as well. He says that this is called the savings trap. For those of you who are interested in economics and interested in macroeconomics especially, I urge you to search up the savings trap and see what John Maynard Keynes talks about, because he basically highlights this. He says that if everyone starts to save, what is good in an individualistic policy, which is it's good for us to save, but it's not good for an entire economy to save, because that basically means your consumption comes down immediately and you have extremely negative effects when consumption recoils so badly. So just an example of it is if both of us consist of an entire country and both of us decide to save and none of us decide to buy, then we won't be hiring people. And if we don't hire people, we're going to get fired from our job. And we'll continue to save because we don't know when we'll get our next job. And this cycle keeps going.
Correct.
Which is why it's called a savings trap.
Yes. And it's in philosophy also, if similar notion is the Buddha mindset. If all of us become enlightened and become Buddhas, the world is over as it is. We'll die through peace. Either we die through war or we'll die through peace. So that's why the middle way is important, that you don't go to one extreme where everyone is peaceful and everyone just sits and stares out of the balcony feeling absolute bliss and doesn't want to move anything. Nor do we need to go around grabbing and worrying about neighbors and feeling envious. We need to find a via medium which allows both to happen. And this is true nature. Any form of extreme kind of action by a larger population leads to its own demise. And Germans would figure this out. I'm sure the German youth, like the Japanese youth, will go through a cycle in shuffling and they'll come out of this better and they'll figure that, okay, we need to consume more, we need to stop worrying about saving less and borrow a few more, buy a few more cars than we need to. I don't know what it is, but it will be a solution which would be far away from what we know as Germany today.
Right. So with that, we thank you for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please like the video. Please subscribe if you like these type of videos. And please share the video with your friends and family members who you think can gain some value out of it. And we thank you again for watching this video and joining us at Be Rich. Thank you.
Thank you.